Well, one of the Cubs starters that we expected to be in the rotation is on the mend. We're going to talk about Javier Assad and his potential comeback to the Cubs when he might be ready and what he's doing right now to come back from a left sprained oblique. We'll get into that. Some other news with the Cubs and talk a little DraftKings. Today's show is brought to you by DraftKings. And I'll tell you what, March Madness is here. Some pretty fun games in the tournament, down to 16 teams. I got all that, plus Major League Baseball coming up as well. So let's get this show started. Like, subscribe, thumbs up, and let's get it going. And great to see you guys today, by the way. Say everybody, Mick Gillespie, Cubs Baseball Channel. Great to see you guys here on the channel today as we talk Cubs baseball. All right, let's get right into this. Javier Assad ready to return. Not quite there yet, but returning to action. I think that's a good deal for the Cubs as they try to get who potentially could be their fifth starter back in the rotation. So he and Tyson Miller, the two guys that are on the IL right now. Miller was a big part of the bullpen after being traded to the Cubs last season. And then Assad was placed on the 15-day IL on March 17th. And they say he's starting to come back through now. Our friend Mark Gonzalez of the Chicago Sun-Times says that he threw 40 pitches in a bullpen session, and that was Saturday, and he's going to throw batting practice this week. So that's kind of like the timeline when you're dealing with a left oblique, a strained left oblique. I think those strains are a little bit more severe than some of the other injuries. So it takes time to come back, but it's also one of those deals where you can come back from it pretty good if you just let it rest and, and obviously, just get back and slowly start to put yourself back in that, in that rotation. Now we're starting to see the rotation for the Cubs without Assad. Ben Brown, Colin Ray are the guys that it kind of comes down to. And, what would happen if Colin Ray ended up with that spot? Would that mean Ben Brown would be in the bullpen when we're kind of still looking at the other roster move? Gage Workman, is he going to make the team or not? And how would that look if he did? But I really feel like Assad is someone that is quietly one of my favorite Cubs. I just like the way that the guy goes out there. He can be a starter. He can be a reliever. 2024, he threw 147 innings in 29 games. He had a 3.73 ERA. It seemed like he's always kind of like one of those guys who kind of is teetering, but knows how to get out of jams when he needs to. And I feel like, because he's one of those guys who also is such a good battler out there. Like, he's a fighter. He's never really out of a situation, even if it's not perfect. Like he could be in a jam and then all of a sudden it's like, boom, he's, he makes a pitch, gets an out. And I think you guys know that as well. So he's an asset for the Cubs. One of the strengths of the Cubs having all of these guys, that are in their, in their bullpen and extra starters is that, hey, one of those guys goes down, all of a sudden now you got Assad, slide him up, and you're not dropping off too bad. Or you could put Assad in the bullpen as well. But good to see Gonzo getting a shout out today. He's a great guy and a good friend. And also, hey, look, we're at that point now where it looks like Assad is starting to turn the corner as far as spring training is concerned and making the Cubs team. I might still be wearing my winter layers, but the start of baseball season means spring is upon us. I've teamed up with DraftKings to bring the excitement to my fellow fans of one of America's most beloved games. Right now, they are offering all new customers $200 in bonus bets instantly after betting just $5. Download the DraftKings app now and sign up using our code CBC. Cubs Baseball Channel, CBC. The crown is yours. Stay in on all the action and use your $200 in bonus bets on DraftKings same-game parlays for a shot at even bigger payouts. Combine multiple bets together from the same game. Love the thrill of live betting? DraftKings has got you covered. Bet live on in-progress games right as they happen, making watching the game that much more exciting. If sports betting is not yet available in your state, don't worry. You can still join in on all the fun with DraftKings Pick 6 and have a shot to win cash prizes. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now. New customers use our promo code CBC and bet just $5 on any wager and get $200 in bonus bets instantly. That's promo code CBC only at DraftKings Sportsbook. We've talked about the Tucker trade, and some of you guys have said, hey, good trade by the Cubs. He's a star player. They're just going to have to sign him at the end of the year. And I agree with that. Look, I'm not going to argue that he is the best player on the team and his stats, or as someone said, look at the back of his baseball card. You're exactly right, and that's what the Cubs went out and paid a heavy price tag to get, right? But I'll tell you what, Zachary D. Reimer of Bleacher Report talked about the basically worst case scenario with the Cubs and, talking about, if the Cubs don't make the playoffs, or even if they do, all the players that they gave up to get Tucker, if they don't sign him at the, at the end of the season, if they want to. And really what it comes down to is money. Could he potentially get a 15-year, $764 million contract? Look, after what Juan Soto got, you're looking and going, hey, I don't know if he's going to get Shohei Ohtani money. I just got back from Vegas and I walk into the mall across from my hotel and there's a Dodgers team store in Las Vegas and it's Shohei Ohtani stuff everywhere. And I thought, this is the marketing that we talked about when the Cubs were in the mix to try to sign Ohtani, and you pay $700 million, but you also get that international market, right? So Tucker's not going to have that, but at the same time, he is potentially, depending on how his season goes with the Cubs, one of the best players in baseball. And it's going to be interesting to see if the Cubs are going to be able to beat an 84 projected season. And that's enough to get him in to the postseason, possibly. What's crazy is that they're projected at 84. They had 83 last year. I just think that they're going to need a jump into 90 wins, and they're still under the payroll where they were last year. They still got some moves that they could potentially make, so we'll see what happens on that front. But for this team to win, Tucker's going to have a big season. Shaw's going to have to step up over at third base and be a factor. I think Michael Busch has star potential. He's going to have to play that way. And then you got to get contributions from Ian Happ, maybe a little more consistent, but Happer can be a really good player when he's seeing the ball well. And, and obviously I think Dansby Swanson is the most important guy on the team. He's paid to be your star. Go out there and be a star. The Cubs could have a sensational season if they can pull that off. We'll find out. But anyway, guys, thanks for hanging. Like, subscribe, thumbs up. Again, we're brought to you by our friends at DraftKings Sportsbook. Our promo code is CBC. That stands for obviously Cubs Baseball Channel. And right now is a great time to you got baseball, you got in-game betting now that you can do at DraftKings. So it makes it fun. You sit there on the couch, watch the game, and throw some wagers up there and watch. That's CBC at DraftKings. Take advantage of it. All right, guys, we'll see you again tomorrow. Thanks for hanging. And again, back home. Feels good to be back home. You watch the show every day. Did it from the studio. Looked pretty good in the hotel in Vegas. All right. Talk to you tomorrow. Thanks.